Were you?
Are you going to ask us very difficult questions because you're with military times?
Yes, I'm going to ask
Okay.
you about battle strategies and
Yeah,
No.
yeah, we were prepared.
Pay attention to what's really going on. It's kind of beautiful.
Well, the story, what drew me to the story originally was Gary Goatsman, Steven Spielberg, and Tom Hanks being attached. And then when I read the first two episodes, uh, I just fell in love with Harry Crosby. I just thought he was the most like incredible, unique, bizarre human being that I'd ever seen on screen.
We had 2 weeks of boot camp that started us off that really built camaraderie with about 120 of us. And so, you know, we learned a lot about each other through that process and going through the physical aspects of that and also being in the classroom together and you know, if you saw one person struggling, you would do your best to lift them up. And we also knew that we were stepping into these leadership roles as majors, and so there was a different feeling of responsibility of if we saw anybody else, you know, that needed help, we were wanting to lift everybody up.
You know, the truth is that even though Johnny Egan himself was like this big old extrovert who loved life and taking on challenges and drinking and singing and getting drunk and causing trouble, he also was one of the people that joined up before Pearl Harbor, and he also was one of the people that saved the world.
Matt, what do you think is the importance of continuing to tell stories about World War II 8 decades later?
Well, look at our world. You know, we've got to see history that has some resonance to what we're going through today. And I think that seeing us address that war in the ways that we did it, and show people today that, you know, we can win things, you know, we can succeed against really horrible odds. And I love that, you know, our main direct opponent there was the Luftwaffe, and how amazing they were, and that we didn't really know what we were doing in the beginning, and we ended up prevailing, you know.
I think the reason that Stephen and Tom and Gary take these stories so seriously, not just because you know, the drama and the characters are extraordinary, but the legacy of these men and their courage in the context of American history, you know, is something that we should never forget.
You know, it's a big story. You know, these are the guys who tenderized the mainland in Europe so that our troops could land. You know, that was really their deal, right? And you know, we didn't know what we were doing. You know, we were losing the war. We didn't get over there in 1943, which is quite astounding, really, when you consider what misery England was under for 2 and 3 years before.
The last few jobs I've done have been real people, and it's interesting when there's like when you actually have like a limited amount about them, which you sort of do when you're playing. When I played Crosby, there's a book and there's some chat about him and like one video that I could go off, and you can really hone in on that and really just treat that as like the truth or the Bible. When there's so much written about a person that you're playing and there's so much conjecture, then it gets a bit sort of murky and a bit like, well, wait, what did they say about him? That doesn't add up with what they said. But when you've got just like a couple of through lines to go through, like Crosby's Children, his book, um, and the book Masters of the Air, it gets you can get a more succinct version,
Tell
you know?
these specific men's story, the story of the Bloody Hundredth, and you know, the sacrifices that they made, you know, just kind of reminds us all what happened of our history and in service of our freedom.